All right, so good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for attending the webinar today. And this webinar is organized between XPRIZE and XPRIZE, actually, specifically for water security competition. And QEERI, Qatar Environment and Energy Research Institute at Hamad bin Khalifa University. So initially, I would like to kind of introduce myself and QEERI, and then I will introduce to the XPRIZE team led by Ms. Elizabeth Guyman. QEERI is part of Hamad bin Khalifa University, which is a research institute focusing on environment, energy, and water research. And we actually tackle the grand challenges of the country and the arid region of the water security, water management, water quality, and all aspects of water research that helps the regional and international community. We have strong activities in water research. We have state-of-the-art labs that work on 3 initiatives like water quality, water desalination, wastewater treatment, and resource recovery research. We are happily announcing that we are part of the team that have registered for XPRIZE, which is a very nice and ambitious kind of initiative to advance the water security in the world, and we are hoping to be part in competing team. Also, we have labs that actually is very well suited for actually collaboration. So we will be able to collaborate with other teams, whether from Qatar or from outside Qatar also. We can join forces. We can actually help providing some access through XPRIZE coordination to our sites for just like if you need a collaboration to advance your research and advance your competition as well. All right, so this is a short introduction of us as QEERI and the water research that we're doing as part of Hamad bin Khalifa University. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce Ms. Elizabeth, who is leading the XPRIZE water competition, and she will be able to kind of give you an overview of what is XPRIZE, how to actually go into the competition of track B and so on. And feel free to post your questions either on the question panel, or you raise your hand for interactive question as well if time allows. Also, we will be able to post our this recording of this into our multimedia, whether LinkedIn and others. So we'll be able to review it and have access to it after the webinar, inshallah. So the mic is all yours, Elizabeth.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Khaled and the team at QEERI, Omar, and everyone for inviting me today. Thank you so much to everyone who has taken time out of their busy schedules. And I know it's graduation season as well. So thank you for joining us to talk about this critical issue of water scarcity. Next slide. So some of you may already be familiar with XPRIZE. I'm going to talk a little bit about our XPRIZE model and how all of our different competitions are structured, and then dive into the XPRIZE water scarcity competition specifically. So XPRIZE is a foundation. We're based in the US, but we operate globally. All of our competitions are open to anyone globally. and they all follow the same structure. So we set extremely audacious technical milestones that teams must achieve over a multi-year competition. So this is very unusual in the field. There are, of course, lots of different prizes out there, but the XPRIZE model is unique because we don't just ask teams, hey, do you think you can do this? We actually require that they show us over a multi-year period with physical testing in the field. And those results are validated by independent judging panels that represent a field of experts internationally. We also crowdsource and build ecosystems around each prize community. So partnering with QEERI, for example, to host this incredible webinar, and then also partnering with test sites globally, partner supports. We like to bring in venture capital firms early to kind of network with different teams, because some teams decide that they want to raise additional funding in addition to competing for the XPRIZE prize purse milestones. And then the XPRIZE model is also unique because it's open to everyone globally. It can really, we are very aware that the best idea can come from anywhere. And so it's this really neat way to crowdsource the best and most scalable solutions out there that might not be on the current industry radar. So XPRIZE has been around for 30 years. We just celebrated our 30th year anniversary this past fall. In that 30 years, we've launched 30 prizes. We have launched over $500 million USD in cumulative prize purse. Of that, 1/5 of the prize purse is XPRIZE Water Scarcity. So at $119 million, it is the largest prize that XPRIZE has ever done. It is also the largest incentive prize in the world. So we're incredibly fortunate to be working on it. We're incredibly excited to see what kinds of innovative technology comes out of this historic competition. We also measure success through our teams throughout the competition by things like number of new patents filed, number of prize partners, number of ongoing research publications, and all kinds of other cool impacts that the teams have throughout the competition and even once they graduate and move on to their next adventure. So XPRIZE, this particular prize is in food, water, and waste. We do have 7 different active domains, and we're always launching really cool new prizes. So you may have seen we just wrapped up a $100 million carbon removal prize just a few months ago. But if you're interested in learning more about all of our other active prizes, I encourage you to look at our website. This is our only active prize in water right now, but we do hope to launch future prizes in water in the future. All of our prizes have different sponsors. For this particular prize, the sponsor is the Mohammed bin Zayed Water Initiative. We operate the prize independently of them, but of course, it would not be possible without their generous support. So for transparency and in a token of appreciation, we like to just say a quick thank you to them for providing the prize purse. And they're also doing some very cool things in water, so I encourage you to check out their website if you're interested in learning more. So now let's talk a little bit about the XPRIZE Water Scarcity. So this is our lovely operations team. Dr. Greenlee is our Executive Vice President of all of Food, Water, and Waste. David Locke is our Executive Program Director of the prize. Sarah is our Program Manager. Myself, Laika, is our Senior Marketing Manager. And then we also have our technical team, Dr. Hossein Atufi and Jim Pippin, who has a background of running public prizes in the US and all of the different logistical challenges that come with that. We are incredibly fortunate to have an incredibly diverse advisory board in terms of different types of experiences in the water sector, and also representing lots of different regions geographically. So I'm sure to many of you on this call, these names look familiar. If you are interested in learning more about our advisors, all of their names are on our website. They advised us during the design phase of the prize, which was about a year in design. For example, things like how to make the prize intentionally challenging, but not so difficult. And they've also continued to advise us to this day about different aspects of the prize that we should take into consideration. We also have an incredible roster of our independent judging panel. So they are currently reviewing the Track A qualifying submissions. So all the teams for Track A have gotten their submissions in. And this is going to be the first milestone for that Track A. Our judges have a very diverse set of experiences in water, and we're very fortunate to have them. So let's talk a little bit about why a prize in seawater desalination, because we do get this question quite a bit. So as many of you on the call know, you're probably working in water already. By the year 2030, 40% of global clean water needs will be unmet. Currently, only 1% of clean water is produced using desalination, and the vast majority of that water being produced through desalination is in wealthy nations. So for many nations, it's unaffordable, and we have this incredible resource of seawater that is, as yet untapped. Water stress does not discriminate. It affects all continents globally. This graph is also looking at the rate of withdrawals as one factor of water scarcity. I know there are different ways to represent that, but it is a global issue. There has, of course, been existing seawater desalination technology, but as I mentioned, it's been unaffordable. I'm sure many of you on the call know that already. Advancements are increasingly incremental and marginal. The operations can be complex and often vulnerable, difficult to maintain. And there's a huge sustainability problem in the industry. So that's why we created this prize. That's why we're creating it today and launching it and talking about Track B specifically. So the competition as a whole is $119 million designed to revolutionize seawater desalination technology. So what does this mean? This means driving innovative breakthroughs, making seawater desalination more reliable, more affordable, and more sustainable to enable that widespread global access to clean water, considering environmental protection, so marine life, energy reduction, brine management, and all across the board, reducing that environmental impact. But then also, this is the difficult part, not doing all that, but not compromising things like uptime maintenance and also system resilience and overall management. So there are two ways to compete in the competition. We just closed registration for Track A. So for this webinar, we're focusing on Track B, which is desalination, novel materials, and methods. And the good news is you still have 10 days to join the competition before the close of registration on May 31st. So Track B, for the winning team statement, the winning team will demonstrate a novel method or material that sustainably and cost-effectively treats seawater to potable quality, referencing World Health Organization standards. And it can be absolutely any saltwater separation technique with an operational lifetime of at least 10 years. And the idea here is that it would be a direct replacement for or an innovation on existing saltwater reverse osmosis membranes in existing desalination plants. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the key criteria for success. So the judges will be looking at the novelty and how inventive it is. So looking at a material or a method that uses a material that has that breakthrough capacity, looking at sustainability, cost effectiveness, and quality, looking at harmful byproducts and the reductions of those, and then that durability. So we'll have teams stress test their material or method for that 10-year lifetime, and then also that scalability and compatibility. So does it integrate into an existing system, and can it be kind of quickly adopted by the industry? On the right-hand side of the screen, you can see some of the key focus areas. So these are just some of the example types of technologies that we're expecting to see in the competition. If you have an idea that's not on here, but it fits that saltwater separation technique with an operational lifetime of 10 years or more, by all means, please feel free to include that in your application for the competition. We want to be surprised. Our judges want to be surprised. We can't wait to see what cool ideas you submit. So let's talk a little bit about how the competition is structured. So as I mentioned at the top of the presentation, all of our XPRIZes have physical testing. That's kind of our bread and butter. That is how we structure all of the competitions to ensure that all teams know exactly what to expect. They're all treated equally. They know exactly what the technical requirements are. So for track B, once teams complete registration, and you have just about 10 days to do that, the next step that will be due at the end of June is a simple written proposal. So it's a qualifying submission document. This is the first step that will be reviewed by the independent judging panel. And you'll basically outline what is your plan for the next several year competition to scale your technology, address the competition objectives, and meet the goals at each stage of the testing. So it's just going to be a technical proposal. We have a template that you can find in the competition guidelines on our website. So what is the innovation? What is the scalability plan? How realistic is it? And what's your plan for implementing it? And then what is your team's strategy for accelerating that 10-year life cycle testing? Teams that are selected to move forward to qualified team testing are going to be submitting visual documentation, looking at their operational approach, and we'll also be having teams submit supporting documentation. We'll release additional information about this. This is just kind of at a high level so you understand what to expect. For this round, teams can test at their own location. So I know QEERI had mentioned that they have some collaboration opportunities, maybe some testing opportunities. You can test wherever in the world that you want. So it could be your own site, a partner site, really anything. Then teams are going to be selected by the judges to move forward to semifinals. And there is a cash award when you move from qualified team testing to semifinals. So that's that first award payment is happening for those teams that are selected to move forward. Then you'll do an actual physical submission of your material or method for the judges to review. So that semifinals testing will take place at a centralized test site. We'll be announcing where that is a little bit closer to semifinals. And 30 teams will have won that first milestone award and will be selected to begin testing at that site. And then 5 teams will be selected to move forward to finals. They will receive a cash award payment for moving to that final phase. And they will submit, again, samples of their materials and methods for testing. And they'll also submit a cost analysis to the judges, along with any updates to their scalability plan, a safety data sheet, and all of their samples of their materials, and also the water. So we talked about kind of the phases of the competition. This is a nice slide that kind of shows what that timeline looks like over the multi-year competition. So as you can see at step 2, we are approaching the registration deadline, May 31st, 2025. And that's the deadline to get all of your documents in. It's 2 signed competitor agreements, which we'll look at in just a moment. And there's a small registration fee. And then teams will have 1 more month to get that first written proposal in. We will then announce the qualified teams that the judges have selected to move forward in August 2025. And the first round of physical testing, which is that visual documentation of your lab and your setup, will take place in December 2025. And then teams who are selected to move forward to semifinals will receive that first cash payment. Then there's semifinals testing, and teams moving forward to finals will also receive that cash payment for finals. And then we have finals testing in 2027. So you can see that breakdown. And at each stage, we have additional information that we release to teams, which we call our rules and regulations document. So we aim to provide teams with enough information that they can plan, but not so much information that it's kind of overwhelming at each step in the process. So this is the cash prize purse breakdown. So teams receive the cash purse amount when they reach the next phase. So all teams that are selected to move from the qualified team testing to semifinals, those 30 teams will each receive $10,000 USD. And then all teams that move from semifinals to finalists will receive $220,000. And then the top 3 teams will receive, millions of dollars of awards. So it is a progressive process. You can win at, multiple stages as you go, or if you get knocked out in one of the early rounds, maybe you've still won one of the earlier awards. Okay, so we've talked about the competition, and now let's talk about what it takes to be a team. So a team can come from anywhere. It is one of my favorite things about my job is interacting with our teams because we can design the best competition in the world. And I think we have designed a pretty great competition. But at the end of the day, if we don't have teams, the competition is not a success. So thank you in advance to our teams like QEERI. And then also to any of you who are considering becoming a team, thank you in advance because you are really the heart and the soul of XPRIZE. And we love that solutions can really come from anywhere. You don't know who's going to win the competition. And 5 years is a long time. So really, it is open to everyone. And we love to see, we love to be surprised, by who's gonna win. So in the 30 years that XPRIZE has existed, we have been privileged to have over 35,000 different competitors across all the different prizes and over 10,000 teams representing 173 countries. So for XPRIZE Water Scarcity, we have about 85 countries and are hoping to get to that 100 mark soon. So we encourage you to join us if you haven't already. A team can be just one person. It could be a single entity like a university or a private sector company, or it could be a team consortium. And what's great is as you move through the competition, if you decide that you want to add more people to your team, you can do that at any point in the multi-year competition. So it really is a lot of freedom. These are some of the different types of skill sets that we expect to see in this competition. But it really is, we love seeing the different types of skill sets and the different subject matter experts that will compete in the XPRIZE Water Scarcity. It's really your decision what you want your team to be and how you want that team to be able to compete. So, of course, if you're part of a team consortium, we do encourage you to kind of think through any agreements that you want to make on your own, but that's completely your decision how you want to structure that team. So teams compete in the XPRIZE for a variety of different reasons. The cash prize purse, of course, but also because of the physical testing, it's a great way to get your technology and especially prototypes and early stage technology validated for free, and then be able to kind of show maybe a utility end customer for water technology or a water venture capital firm, hey, this technology was validated by through the rigorous XPRIZE field testing process and by the independent judging panel. So it's a way to kind of get your technology to that next stage and also get access to testing grounds through the centralized test site, our incredible range of partner benefits through the competition and also the XPRIZE alumni network. We also have these big media moments at each stage. So this summer, for example, when we announce our qualified teams, that will be a big media moment that our competing teams will be able to kind of take advantage of to further amplify the incredible work that they're doing that might not have gotten that kind of exposure previously. But everyone has different reasons for competing, and we welcome you to kind of share with us why you're excited about competing. So just a quick visualization of that registration process that I talked about, because we are coming up on that deadline of May 31st. So all of the registration process happens on our website. It's called the Prize Operations Platform, or POP. Teams that have registered for Track A can also register for Track B. The competition is open to anyone. Teams just must own the rights to all of the technologies, methods, and intellectual property that they plan to use in their submission. And then we do encourage you to register as soon as possible, just because it can take a few days to sign the agreements. But it is just a pretty simple 6-step process. So you're going to log into the website, create a team profile, it takes about 5 minutes. You will read 2 documents. So it's the agreement between you and XPRIZE, and then the agreement between you and the Mohammed bin Zayed Water Initiative, the sponsor. There's a short registration survey, which we just use those answers internally to kind of understand you a little bit better as a team and the innovation landscape of the competition. There's that small registration fee, and then you will sign both documents that you've already read. So that is the process, signing those documents. That just takes a few days because our legal team needs to countersign it. So we do encourage you, if you're interested in joining, try and get started on that today, just because we are coming up on the deadline. And then this is just a quick note on our registration fees. So all of the fees go to the alumni network, which our teams become eligible to join once they exit the competition. So it's a little bit of a future proofing of the alumni network through your registration fee. Okay, well, I want to leave enough time for questions. So thank you all so much for your attention. I do encourage you to put your questions in the chat. And if we don't have time for some reason, feel free to send me a message on LinkedIn or at our public inbox or email, which I think is in the next slide. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for this very informative competition. And I must admit myself that since we have actually applied for track A and we interacted with your team, it was been very kind of effective communication process and very straightforward process. And you guys are always available for us. I remember calling you guys in the US at not convenient times to ask questions, and you're always available. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And yeah, the floor is open for everybody to post your questions on the chat or raise your hand. We have a few like we can entertain few questions voice, but you can actually also type your questions.
No one wants to be the first person to ask a question. Oh, good, we got one. Okay. Feasibility plan, include key technical specifications required to integrate your solution. Okay, great. So this is a great question that we will be covering in the future in a more technical overview. So right now, at a high level, teams should be thinking about how does your method or material for saltwater separation, how would that integrate into an existing SWRO desalination plant? So how would the industry adopt your solution, and how would you communicate the ability for your solution or method to kind of go to market or be adopted by industry? We will be providing lots more information on this once registration has closed before the qualifying submission is due. So we will be having a webinar probably June 10th for all teams that complete registration. But right now, I just really want to encourage you, focus on getting your document signed and getting into the competition. And then we'll provide more information on the technical piece of that for the written proposal that's due 1 month later. But yeah, great question. Okay, and then we have another great question from Rim. So could you please clarify what you mean by affordable in this context? And are there specific cost ranges or benchmarks you're referring to? So I will give a similar answer that I gave to Dr. Victor, which is for now, it is basically trying to bring down the cost of water, but not compromising on the sustainability or reliability of your solution. We do have a cost of water model that my colleague, Dr. Hossein Atufi, has put together that we will be providing to teams who have completed their registration and are going for the qualifying submission that is due June 30th. So we will be providing more information on that, but for now, just focus on kind of affordability as a very general concept.
All right, so we have a hand from Dr. Abdel Nasser Mabruk. So I'll give you the mic, Abdel Nasser, to ask a question. Yeah, please go ahead and unmute yourself, Abdel Nasser, and ask question.
Okay. Oh, thank you very much. I would like to really thank the QEERI team for hosting such a brilliant event and bring Ms. Elizabeth to here in Qatar. Actually, since I'm working interesting in industry and really interesting to join QEERI for collaboration. But actually, my question relating to track A. I mean, I know most of the presentation track B, but Dr. Khalid mentioned maybe also QEERI register for A. Please clarify this point. And my question to Elizabeth, in case of applying for track A and system level innovation, what is there any criteria for technology readiness level for such system as innovative to apply? That's really, if you can really please elaborate in this. Thank you.
Great question. So track A registration is unfortunately closed. That being said, because we do welcome collaboration, you're always welcome to look at the existing competing teams on the website and request to join them. So teams have an option, and you'll have this option too if you register for track B, to put a tag on your profile that says open to accepting new team members. So that would be one option if you want to kind of try and join an existing team that's competing in track A at any time during the multi-year competition. We also hope to have future competitions in water, but unfortunately, formal registration for track A is closed. And then to answer the second part of your question, there is no minimum TRL level that your solution needs to be at. I think for this particular competition, we probably won't see any TRL 1 because it would be too difficult to scale that quickly enough to be competitive. But it's really up to you to decide, you know, how quickly you can develop your technology, or and then also for the different technical stages, those are just the minimum requirements. So you can always submit an oversized system if you want. So there is a lot of flexibility in how you want to kind of pursue each technical stage. Okay, I think we have, okay, and then we have a question, is it possible to add a team member at any stage? Absolutely. So you can always add a new team member. You can add a new company to your team as part of a team consortium, a new university partner. The only situation in which we request that you let us know is if you plan to formally merge two fully registered XPRIZE teams, just because there's some back-end paperwork that we need to do. But if you're just adding kind of another partner that's not part of the competition, you are free to do that at any time during the competition, and you don't even need to let us know. We do encourage you to think through what those partnerships look like. For example, if you become eligible for the prize purse, do you know who on your team is going to receive that prize purse? That might be an important conversation to have, but it's completely your decision how to structure that. Okay, so we have a question from Dr. Abdad. Okay, does the solution need to focus solely on producing potable water? Okay, so good question. So I would say the ultimate goal of this competition is to produce potable water, and specifically World Health Organization standard potable water. So that is the focus of this competition. That being said, in terms of pretreatment, there are some pretreatment crossovers in pursuit of that goal. This is not really a competition that's focused on wastewater at all, but who knows what technology could be developed that might have other applications. Okay, the second question, if the project is already partially funded, will that affect the eligibility? So absolutely not. In fact, if it's already kind of funded or you have funding partners, that might be something that you want to include in your qualifying submission, because one of the things that the judges will be looking for is, are you thinking through how you will scale your technology solution and your business over the multi-year competition. So, definitely looking at your global plan for your technology and your business would be a good thing to describe in that submission. But don't worry about that yet, because just focus on getting registered, and then you still have a full month to submit the qualifying submission. Okay, and then can the proposed solution be a modification of an existing technology, commercial product, or recycle? Yes, absolutely. So an innovation could be, pivoting off an existing solution. The only restriction is please ensure that you own the rights to the technology that you will be submitting in the competition. And XPRIZE reserves the right to ask teams at any point during the competition to prove that they do own the rights to use the technology or the intellectual property. So that's the only restriction there. Obviously there are some, if it's like a tiny component in a tiny part of the system that is common across most systems in desalination, you're probably covered on that. So just, think it through and just use your good judgment and make sure that you have looked at all of your technologies and intellectual properties, and you do have the right to use them.
All right. I think I have a question until somebody posts another question. Elizabeth, how about government and semi-government bodies who are actually working on water treatment and water desal? Are they allowed to be part of teams?
Absolutely. Yep. The only restriction, I would echo what I had shared, just, we do encourage you, if you're partnering with anyone, government or not, to form any agreements that you might want in place, but we don't put any restrictions on that.
So the agreement is between, you're not interfering in what type of agreement that goes in between the team members?
Not at all, no.
All right, perfect, thank you.
We just ask that you let us know who is the point of contact that I will communicate with, who is the team lead of that team, and then where would we send the prize purse award if you become eligible. So those are the only things that we need to know.
And can be, my last questions, it can be like a registered team who is actually competing, can still be a super testing site for other technologies or other team members, or not?
Yes, so in the rounds of the competition up into, so the final rounds of the competition will be at a centralized test site, but in the test rounds before that, you're welcome to invite other teams to come test at your site. And you can structure those agreements however you want. It would be between you and those teams that are deciding to test at your facility.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so Dr. Victor has a question. Could you please explain robust performance plan, samples, performance plan? Okay, so this is again asking about kind of some of the qualifying submission details. So we will definitely be covering all of this in a webinar probably on June 10th, and we'll send out an email to you. So go ahead and join our mailing list. We'll send out an email to everyone when the webinar will be. But basically the performance testing plan will be stress testing of your material or method to help understand, will it last the 10 years and can it meet the competition requirements? So we will be diving into all of this in much more detail, but it will be covering classic things, no surprise, temperature and pH and all of that. Okay, and then the second part of the question, the use of the sample plan will not be accepted. I think I'm going to say if you could ask this question on our upcoming webinar about the qualifying submission, that would be best, just because we'll be kind of in that phase of the competition. Right now, we're mostly focused on just registration, but we'll definitely be providing more answers to exactly what to include in the qualifying submission on that future webinar. And yes, it's possible to send the PowerPoint presentation. I'm comfortable with that if Dr. Khaled and team are. These are great questions. Thank you, everyone, so much. I will also put the link to join the competition, just if anyone needs that. And I've also put our public email in the chat, which just goes to me. So if you have any further questions that didn't get answered here today, or you need any support, if you decide to register, don't hesitate to reach out to that.
All right, perfect. I think we're at the right time to wrap up. If I see no more questions, so I would like to announce that to answer the last questions, we will be actually posting the link to the webinar, the recording, on our multimedia sites, mainly LinkedIn. Mr. Omar will be posting that. So if you have any further questions, they can actually you comment and you make a quick questions to Miss Elizabeth into the email address that she sent. Outside of XPRIZE, we're happy to answer any question related to QEERI and water research in QEERI. I'm the director of the Water Center. I'm happy to answer any question that you may have related to our research as well. I'm going to post my email address also there. So thank you so much for attending, and we wish you all the best for competing. We wish also ourselves the best for winning the prize, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Khaled. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Very much appreciate your time.
Have a great day, everyone.